On the 11th day of clickbait, YouTube gave to me way too much to do and not enough time to do it in. Hello, I am the Ronin Pawn, and this is a vignette, a retrospective on that which has not completed yet. This is me sitting here and talking about the 12 days of clickbait because I do not have enough time to produce the 11th day of clickbait. It's 4:30 in the morning in the Eastern time zone, but I barely managed to get up the 10th day of clickbait before the 10th day was out. Each one of these things has taken between 8 to 12 hours to shoot and edit and collect all the Foley and find all of the resources that I need and make a thumbnail for, and fighting this little bastard all the way. Hello, Pause. He has a tendency to jump right onto my keyboard and do things that I didn't think computers were able to do. He has found functions in Windows 10 that I had no idea existed. He's also quite good at deleting entire sequences of video that you've just spent a long time producing. Thank you, Control-Z. Yeah, I'm at the point where I just can't get the 11th day out and still be able to do the 12th day, and I want to do the 12th day. I want to finish this thing out for us, and so I wanted to actually take this opportunity to stop and say, one, thank you to all of you for coming along, at the same time as it could be a social commentary on YouTube and clickbait and what that is, and oh my god, it could also be a commentary on YouTube's practices and what it is like to be a YouTuber, which is why we started out with the comment section, and then on the third day, it's bullshit claims, because I'm up to 4 bullshit claims. The first 3 were just invented. I just made them up out of my head and said, you know what, I've gotten enough claims in my 5 years on YouTube, I can reasonably invent some and wonder if the cat just broke. What are you doing? He's been part of the challenge, let me tell you. The original claims were falsehoods. I made them up in my head. But just in producing the 12 videos, I got a bullshit claim out of it. So was it valid? Was it fair? Oh yeah, it was. The Orchard Music is the name of the outfit that has entered into YouTube's content matching system, the sound of fire burning. So be warned, anyone who ever uses the sound of a fire in the background of anything, it's property of the Orchard Music. They have copyrighted the natural sound of fire. So now I'm already down like 9 different tangents, aren't I? I don't know how to start things, but listen, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to sit here and I wanted to talk about my experience producing all of this stuff. Because, number one, it's been like reinvigorating. All the editing, all the green screen, all of this work, and having crammed it into the tiny period of time that I have has actually been like, wow, this is look at all you can do when you just fire on all cylinders. And the truth is, I haven't been firing on all cylinders, because, I don't know, I'm just lazy. So, experience number 1 while shooting this reinvigorated, like, it's just shown me the potential of what I can do when I throw myself into a project, heedless of any restraints of what can be done, and just say, let's try it. Experience number 2 has been very dark and depressing. Because when I started this out, I just had, like, a bevy of good ideas. So I thought about, like, how to mock clickbait. And, since I started it, wow, I've had to look directly in the eyes of clickbait and then produce clickbait myself. And, wow, I have now seen things that you should never see. And it's not as though I didn't have any notion of how clickbait worked or what the basic premises of it were, but, like, now that I've done it, it's just a whole new, like, vomit in my mouth. I've never tasted this kind of bile before, and it's damaging my soul. I've actually had quite a lot of fun starting these videos off by making a thumbnail. What would people click on? I had a lot of fun doing that, until a certain point at which it, like, connected with me. This is how people actually make videos. They don't start with, like, I've got an idea, I've got a story to tell, I've got something that I feel the world needs to hear, or something that's just deep inside me. I have a passion in my own life, and I want to make content about it. No. They start by thinking, what will people click on? And from the question, what will people click on today, and what kind of thumbnail can I make today, and what kind of title would be infinitely relevant to what's trending today, then they invent content to fill what they decide to be a clickable space. And as we sit here today, the one that just went up is everything that's wrong with Home Alone in 2 minutes. And I came up with and wrote the idea for that title down yesterday. College Humor, for some reason, is doing Home Alone videos at the same time as Vsauce 3, and in fact, multiple Vsauce channels, because they've got many of them. You know, it's like the MTV franchise at this point. As soon as there was one big, well-viewed video that was about Home Alone, a movie from, I don't even know when, but it's over 20 years, right? Once there was one, there was a second from a different channel. And once there were 2, there were 5. And once there were 5, there were 10. And once there were 10, there were 20. And mine was in the list of them. I saw that pattern starting up, and I got my hooks in early. As I posted my video, a channel called Cinema Sins, maybe you've heard of it, posted a video that had almost the exact, actually they were ahead of me. They were ahead of me by 8 hours, they got their video out, but it had almost the exact same title as mine. It was Everything Wrong with Home Alone in 15 minutes. And mine was Everything Wrong with Home Alone in 2 minutes. And I wrote this title down 36 hours ago or something now. Like, do you know that channel? Do you subscribe to that channel? Do you like that channel? Do you remember how you found that channel? Because you found it because they clickbait. I'm doing it as a joke. And then when I need to, like, go get source material or go kind of, like, see how it's done a little more, and I see that people do it, like, legitimately, for real, you know? Huge channels are based on it. And there are some that are just, like, The Richest, okay? I made fun of The Richest, which is a YouTube channel, on a certain day. I stole their intro and tacked it right onto the front of my video in order to make a point and say, this is exactly what clickbait is, because that is a whole channel just dedicated to clickbait. But okay, The Richest is a clickbait channel that does clickbait, and they are in the business of clickbait. And somehow that is, like, more acceptable to me. I can swallow that, and it doesn't fester in my stomach the way that when I see channels that do things that are more legitimate, that are more honest. It's their own content. They're clearly interested in it. And then the tactics that they use in order to get people over to watch it are the exact same tactics that The Richest uses. That has just disturbed me in a way that I can't fully describe. Like, it has made making this 12 days of clickbait thing harder. You know, I've identified for the past 4 or 5 years as a YouTube gaming channel, as a comedy gaming channel. I do Let's Plays. So obviously I watch other Let's Players. I was inspired by other Let's Players. That's why I started doing what I'm doing. And I watch Game Grumps religiously. And that's my number 1. But my number 2 of things that I usually go to is Markiplier. And while I've been learning these techniques of clickbait, I've also been watching Markiplier's feed come down into my subscriber page day by day. And the man is doing clickbait. He's working right now on a series of challenge videos where he sits in a bathtub full of ice and eggnog for one and chocolate milk or something for another, and one begs the question, what? Coming from a man who for the last 12 days has gotten naked, dressed as Miss Santa, and what else have I done? Animated my mouth over a Kerbal for reasons that few people will understand. There is a whole lot about this series that would make any viewer go, what? From one lunatic entertainer who clearly does not have enough boundaries to another Markiplier, I am saying, what does bathtub ice cube eggnog have to do with, oh, it's a challenge video? Like, this is the world I have to live in. This is the world that I have now stared dead in the eyes. It's not as though I hadn't seen it before. It's just I hadn't, like, gotten down on the street and walked amongst it, and I feel dirty. I feel dirty, and I don't know if I can get clean again. My mother just had a birthday. She's a December baby, and I went shopping with my father, and we were walking through just the checkout line at any given store, and I turned my head to the left and saw the cover of People magazine, and it was something something Star Wars Rogue One Secrets Revealed. Oh, it's all clickbait. It's all clickbait. The headline of the newspaper, the cover of the magazine, every single thing that you see on the YouTube homepage. But it's like, now that I've seen it, I can't stop seeing it. I can't stop seeing how this industry works. I can't stop seeing how people whose content I like and whose work I respect, I now see how much it is built on clickbait, not just on like trying to get people to a video that you have produced. Okay? Like, I had an idea for a video, I had an idea for content, it's something that I'm passionate about, I want to share it with other people, and now that it's done, I'm happy with it, I want to do whatever I can to get people to come over and watch it, which is something that I've heard someone else I watch, Wheezy Waiter, talk about before. He said, you know, if my thumbnails or my titles sometimes seem a little clickbaity, he wants people to come and watch his videos, just like I do, just like everybody does. So it's like, if you make something good, you make something you want to share, then obviously you're going to use the best tactics that you possibly can to get new people to come and see it. I have problems with that in and of itself, but beyond that, let's just take that aside as like, that's legitimate. Okay, set that over here. I now see that people who I like, who I respect, who I've been watching for a very long time, go out of their way to produce content that they have no interest in themselves, but that is trending currently. This Home Alone business is just like, wow. Wow. People wake up in the morning. Hang on. People in my business wake up in the morning and they go to this webpage. It's the Google Trends page. And it follows everything that is trending that Google knows about. And they scroll that page and they see what's getting the most feverish clicks. That is a new thing. And then, based on that, they build what they're going to do today to jump on the bandwagon of whatever's already flowing. Is what I have to do. Because it's like, this is the world I live in. This is just it. It's not a YouTube problem. It's not a cultural problem. It's a worldwide economic lack of principles kind of problem. It is the influence of capitalism on good people that slowly but surely whittles away honor and decency until you don't even notice it anymore, but you don't have any code, and you're not doing it for any other reason than to get people to click on it, to get people to view it, so that you can make money. If I can't sell you something with it, then why am I making it? Becomes the standard, and it has. And it is. And it absolutely is. Good artists, people who had a reason to start, who knew what they were doing when they got started, who knew why they were doing it, and had something to share. They get up in the morning, and their first thought is not, how am I going to share my passion with someone? The first question that they ask themselves is, what can I sell today? What can I get you to click on? And that is the rabbit hole that I have just been down, and that I am still in, because I've got one more day of clickbait to produce. And I've spent far more time sitting here talking about all this than I had planned on, so that video that I still have to make is going to be that much less good because I sat here talking about clickbait. You guys, thank you so much for coming with me and for supporting me. Some of you have chosen to support me on Patreon, brand new, right in the middle of this thing, and I thank you so much for that, because I really am changing sort of streams here and doing something different on the channel. And in case it starts to sound like I'm not going to do gaming anymore, I'm going to do gaming. I'm just going to do other things, because apparently I need to get naked in front of a camera at least once every 3 months, or else I lose my sanity. I will see you on the other side of clickbait. I'm going to need some downtime, because what time is it now? 5 in the morning. I have no sleep schedule anymore after this project. I'm going to need some downtime, but when I come back, we're going to continue having fun. This was fun as hell. This was great. And now I see how the game is played, and maybe I can manipulate it for my own gain. I am the Ronin pawn. Oh, God. Pawn. Out. Pause. Asleep.